Hey, thanks for joining us today. I have Nick here with me. We're going to be interviewing Nick and just kind of finding out, what he recommends home care agencies do with social media marketing. You have all these people telling you you need to be doing social media, you need to be doing this thing, that thing. And, there's a lot of things that you could be doing, but maybe doesn't really bring in value to your agency. So we're going to really pick Nick's brain and find out, what you need to be doing to grow your home care agency through social media marketing. And I'll just hand it off to Nick. Nick, do you want to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and, what you guys do?
Absolutely. So thanks for having me. Super excited. My name is Nick Bonitatibus. I'm a digital marketing strategist. I'm the founder of Digital Champions. And what I really do is my specialization is helping organizations, home care organizations to really thrive online utilizing video and social media marketing. Now, a lot of times when I'm working with my clients, I do help them in other areas, but that's really my specialization in doing it in a way that is going to be efficient with your time because most of you are busy entrepreneurs. And I totally understand that as an entrepreneur myself. And so, what I really do is helping to create systems and strategies within your business from the online side so that it's going to be the best use of your time and also get the greatest return and ROI in your online marketing efforts.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I think, there's so much misconception out there about different social media strategies. Some people maybe say, well, I've done some posts in the past, I've done some things, but I didn't really see anybody even like the post. So can
Mm.
you talk about like maybe what kind of post or what kind of content people should be, putting out? Because I think that's a big thing too. I mean, if your audience, not everybody's going to be interested in, a stock photography photo, post type thing. So you want to share about what kind of content people should be producing?
Yes, absolutely. And this kind of ties into it's a I'll try not to go too deep into my pet peeves when it comes to social media, and a lot of it is within the home care businesses and seeing what some of what I believe to be mistakes within the industry. And the biggest thing when it comes to creating content on social media is that you're not talking about your services, like very little. It
Mm,
is a small, tiny fraction of what you are sharing on social media. Because the thing is, look, that's what your website is for. Your social media is not your website.
yeah.
It's not. Your
Yeah.
social media is designed the same way that social media was created for, which is building relationships. It is the fundamental piece of why social media even exists. And it's the foundational principles that it was built behind. And so when we start to look at things on a relationship standpoint, we come from a place of providing value. So we're not talking about our services. That doesn't help anyone. They can go to your website, they can find that out. They don't need to know about your services. We need to be able to provide value and educate them at the same time, simultaneously creating a need for your services, but not talking about your services. And so, how do we do that? The one fundamental thing when it comes to the home care industry is education. Really
Yeah.
taking the time to educate our audience. The thing
That's
is,
good.
it's so easy to get wrapped up into our own world where we think that people know certain things and they just don't. The story I love to share is back in I want to say I guess maybe 2017. And I used to work for Hurricane Marketing Enterprise, if you guys know Steve and Steve the Hurricane. And so
Yep. Yep.
I worked with him for 6, 7 years before I left and started my own business. And I do still work with them a little bit too. But one of the things I got a phone call from my dad, and he says, "Hey, we just got home care for your grandmother." I said, "Oh, great. Did you get rid of that 2 inch thick carpet rug in her living room?" And he says, "Oh no, like they didn't do that. And we didn't do that. We need to do that." And so at the time, I was frustrated.
Yeah.
because one, my dad had hired a home care company without talking to me, even though, I worked with Steve the Hurricane, who knows so many people. And at the time I was living in the Philadelphia area, which is where I'm from. I live in San Diego now, but Steve, worked in New Jersey, so it's super close. So he knows and got his huge
Yeah.
company. He knows tons of people. So I'm like, how do you not talk to me? And then again, the fact from the fall prevention side of things. But like that's the thing. That's the point I want to get across here is that he didn't know that that was a thing. And
Yeah.
it's like we know in this industry that falls are one of the leading, if not the leading cause of death. I have to check um what the standards are now, it's statistics, but it's always in there. It's always in there. One of the top things, what happens? They fall,
Yeah.
they break a hip, they end up in the hospital. Again, it's
I
just
think the
this.
statistics also at least in the bathroom area, I think the statistics are that 80% of falls happen in from the house in the bathroom. And then I think it's as high as what 70 to 80% of people who do fall pass away from
Mm.
as a result of their injury. Like they might recover and then eventually as a result pass away. So the bathroom is a huge scary place for the house.
Yeah, and there's so many things too. I mean, the bathroom, yeah, installing grab bars and making sure everything's properly lit in rooms and those It's like people are not aware of these things, and
Yeah.
when we can bring attention to this and come from this place of education, and so one, we're creating content that people want to share. Like so,
Yeah.
again, I don't mean to hit this too hard, but like if you're posting things about your services, like the only people who are going to share that are you and like maybe your friends and family. But if it's not like somebody that it's providing value, then they're not going to share it. But if you create a video or a post that's about like 3 ways to prevent falls of your
Uh-huh.
loved one, that's content that matters. That's content that makes a difference. That content that makes an impact. And when we focus on this educational standpoint, this place of coming from value and also coming from the place of being the expert in the industry,
Yeah.
and that's what we're trying to do. That's what I do with my clients is I help them become the expert in
The
their
authority
industry.
position. Yeah.
Exactly. And that comes from education, from educating your community, educating your audience. And it comes in many different ways, whether you're doing in services, community events, and but social media, doing it online, you have the potential to reach so many more people. Like people take for granted, it's such a funny thing. Like you get 100 views on Facebook or something, and you may be like, oh man, like I wish I had more views. Like if you're in a room of 100 people that are listening to what you're saying, like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so we undervalue what it means when people are looking at our content and seeing it. And so again, coming from the place of education and authority and providing value is going to make a huge difference if we come from that place of really just being a resource, being that value to educating people on everything that you do. Maybe you're a dementia specialist, and so you have a bunch of content that focuses on how to work with a family member who has dementia. I mean, there's tons of content that goes into that. There's tons of content that goes into these things that can be elaborated into multiple pieces of content. I mean, you could do
Right.
so many posts just about fall prevention,
Yeah.
and then you've just about dementia care and just about
What do you see is
Parkinson's.
pretty big that gets a lot of traction? Like is there a certain topic that you find works pretty well?
So, this somewhat will answer the question, but also this is a business uh, kind of strategy. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So, one of the most effective things that you can do, and this is not just like in social media, but educating people on how to choose the best home care company. Because if you come from that place, hey, here's how what you need to do. Here's the questions you need to ask. And like this can be used even as like if a prospect calls and they're not ready to sign up, you're trying to maybe close them on the phone and it's like, all right, well, if you're going to look for another company, here's the things that you want to make sure that you ask them. And so you're giving them all these details. You're giving them all these questions. They're going to go to these other companies and they're going to ask these questions. Guess what they're going to be thinking about the whole time?
Uh-huh.
You.
And you're placing a little, so what you just said, let me just unpack that if you don't mind.
Go
What
ahead.
you're doing by even doing that and maybe even creating content. So let's just take a few steps back because I want people to really get something out of this. Okay. People, when they make buying decisions, they make it off of trust. And what is one of the easiest ways to build trust, to become an authority? So social media, I think, is very important if it's done right. People come to me and they say, well, what do you guys do with marketing? What do you recommend? And so we solely focus on SEO and positioning the client locally on like Google Maps to make them, an authority position. And when we make their website, we also try to position them on the website as an authority figure. But when you're talking about social media, you need to be friending people that are, discharge planners. You need to be friending people on Facebook that, are working the geriatrics industry with doctors and all this kind of stuff. And then so not only are your friends seeing your post, but people that work in that industry. And when you start producing this authority content that Nick is talking about, it positions you above all the other people that's simply just sending them emails or sending them, trying to call them on the phone saying, hey, send me referrals, right? Well, you're positioning yourself now as a resource to those people, and they'll see, like he was saying, if your specialties fall prevention or transportation or whatever it is within this senior care niche, use that to your advantage. Take that thing that you're really good at and put yourself out there as that authority, right, on Facebook. And then creating education content is key. So a lot of times people think, well, I'm just going to share a stock photography thing, or, I'm going to share my little business card. Nobody cares about your business card. Who cares? You just got a new logo and look, nobody's going to share that, right? Except, like he said, maybe your mom and dad. Look at my son. So
And don't get
sorry.
me wrong. I mean, my grandmother is my biggest supporter. She shares tons of my content, and it's super valuable. One thing I wanted to touch on, and that you mentioned that is just so impactful, is realizing that social media is not just for like what you do on your business page. That's like a small fraction. What happens when you're using your personalized pages? So much more goes on there, so much more,
That's
and it's
good.
so underutilized. So if you're one of those people and you're like, I don't like social media, I don't want to do social media, you're missing out on a huge tool. So while other people, while you're using a hammer, other people's got power tools, like when they're using social media, because it is so much more powerful, so much more effective, reaching more people, more efficient. Like you can connect with so many people. And when it comes to utilizing this for your referral sources, like you mentioned, you're connecting with those, you start to get them to know them on a personal
Yeah.
level. You start to see what are their likes, what are their dislikes, do they have a family, all of these things. And then you can leverage that in the types of marketing that you're utilizing.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
You could, let's say, and I used to say this at boot camps, when I use this as an example, you could you see that one of your referral sources loves barbecuing. Okay. So you find an awesome barbecue recipe and you bring it by to them. Obviously, like with COVID right now, there's limitations, but it could be a similar thing where maybe you're sending it to them, but it's so personalized, it's so customized to specifically them. And
Yeah.
when you can target your marketing to like specific interests that these referral sources and these people you want to connect with, it's going to go so much further, because not only are you going to get to know them better, but they're going to get to know you better. And then if
Right.
you're creating great content on your business page that you're then sharing, they're going to see that. They're going to see the value that you're providing, like you mentioned. And it has this deeper, so much greater effect that you can have. But again, it goes back to the fundamental part of social media
Mm.
is building relationships. The
Yeah.
fundamental part of home care marketing is building relationships. So, like, come on, people, these are the tools. This
Yeah.
is like literally
So
the best thing you can do.
I think people kind of get what we're saying. Let's talk about some of the drawbacks, because let's say somebody goes out there and like, okay, I'm going to take Jeremy's and Nick's advice and I'm going to go create some Facebook live streams, which by the way, if you can do Facebook live streams on your personal profile, what a lot of people don't know is that sends a little notification to your friends. Hey, this person is live, and they'll pops up on their phone like a text message. So pretty cool about that if you can do live streams. But I kind of feel like, some people might try to take these tactics, right? Which is good. If you can use these tactics to increase your business, I just love seeing home care agencies thrive because you're helping people, right? And there's some home care agencies that are out there and their sole purpose to exist is just to get clients and get money. And they don't care about who they're serving, right? And I know that there's a lot of home care agencies out there that we serve as clients for the SEO, digital marketing, and website side of things. And they want to reach people. And I know that Nick, you're helping people on the social media side to reach people, right? Whether it's on a referral basis to connect with those referrals or, even if it's on a personal friend list, right? But let's talk about maybe some of the negatives, right? Let's say they go and they start doing these live streams, their hair's messy, or maybe their camera's not right, and you can't see their face. So can you share a little bit about maybe some of the preparation, some of the things that they might need to before they would start down this journey? And then maybe I always think it's good to start with a strategy, not just going out there and shooting shotguns, all these different ways. Oh, I'm going to go do this with marketing, creating like a plan, maybe give like some tips or something like a bullet point list of what people should look for.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of said it, is that you have a plan and you have a strategy of like what you're trying to accomplish, and you can create systems in your business so one of the things I wanted to touch on, because you mentioned like drawbacks. So what's one of the biggest drawbacks is time. Okay.
Mm,
Where are you spending your time? Because as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, it's a very important concept. And that's a big objection that often comes up. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. But the thing is, you make time for payroll. So, you want to make time for social media. But the idea is that you're not living on social media either. And so one of the things I always recommend is that you set time maybe throughout the week, 5-10 minutes a day, something on that standpoint where you're checking in at least every day, every couple days, to do some things on
would they
social
do that
media.
with like a calendar, or what do you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, just like I love Google Calendar. I use that
Okay.
for everything, where it could just be a reminder on your phone. I was just talking about with one of my clients earlier, the power of utilizing this amazing device that we have in our hand. Like, this is the best tool that you have, and if you're not using all of the tools, then you're missing out. Like things like that, simple reminders that are going to help you to be more efficient, utilizing Google Calendars and this technology, it becomes so much more efficient when we can utilize these tools,
Yeah.
because it allows to free our mind up when we don't have to worry about like when my calls are today. It's like, no, it's in my calendar. I know exactly when, I know where to go. I have integrated so many different pieces of technology
Hmm.
that are automated so that it frees me up to focus on more important things, focus on the vision of my organization and where I want to take it, and really serving my clients. And so I kind of went off on a little tangent there,
No,
but
you're fine.
um, when it
I
comes
like
to
it.
when it comes to the social media and getting back to like the time aspect, and a lot of times I talk about utilizing video, and live video is great. It comes with the algorithm. Some of the platforms, they have like the notifications, like you mentioned. The one downside is time, because if
Mm,
you have a consistent thing and you want to show up live, that means that you have to be there live
yeah.
at that time consistently. And so I'm a big believer in having things that are more well thought out, more planned, more produced. So rather than having to go live every single week, you film one day for a couple hours and you film a bunch of content. And then now you're able to get it produced, have an editor that makes this content look great. And then you're scheduling it periodically throughout the months. And so when you have a strategy and you have a plan your work your plan,
Hmm.
then things become so much more efficient and easier. You're not like, what am I going to post this week? What am I going to post this month? It's like, no, like my clients have their
You've
content.
already done it that one time and then you've scheduled it out to go
Yep.
be pushed out.
Yeah. And they have months of content. I always talk like, my course, Social Media Made Easy, which is part of the contest. We'll talk about that a little later, I'm sure. It's about being able to create a bunch of content, a month's worth of content in
Mm.
less than 2 hours. It's understanding that, like, and that's a lot of content that can potentially, if you add video, there's more time that goes into it up front, but you end up getting a ton of time back, through a lot of techniques and things that I talk about in utilizing video. There's a lot of different repurposing and things that you can do with video, and how you do that.
That's
But
good.
yeah, but so I do want to bring up another one of my pet peeves. Okay,
Okay. Yeah. Let's
I
hear it.
think this is really important, and you and I touched on it the last time we connected. Is like when it comes to social media, this is something that a lot of times people are like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm just going to give this to somebody else. And the problem that I've seen when people outsource their social media is that it becomes very cookie cutter. There's no personality. If they're managing other companies, then you have the same content
Right.
that they're sharing. And like, to me, like, this is your company. This is your business. Like, would you want this company to go out and talk to clients for you? Like, would
Yeah.
you want them to go talk to referral sources why for you? So then why would you let another company talk for you on social media? Like, it's the same concept, yet somehow people see it
Yeah.
sometimes as a different thing, but it's
And I'm
not.
glad that you brought that up, because, we get approached because, see, for a home care agency owner to try to do SEO themselves, to rank
Mm,
higher on Google or to even make a website themselves, they think, okay, well, I'm going to, pay for a company to do that because there's no way that I know how Google algorithm works to rank higher in Google. Well, I'm just going to pay for social media too, and they'll take care of that. But like you're saying, it's a human connection. And so many times we just tell people, look, we don't do that because we could post, stock photography photos, but here's how, even if we, let's say, for example, I take a step back and say, okay, well, client, send us photos of real interactions, right? Well, by the time they send us the photos on Google Drive or some other, or email it or whatever, they could have posted that directly from their phone already. And they have the information about what happened. They're gonna have to tell us because we don't know what was going on with that photo, right? So it's like, you really need to be in charge of your social media, right? And so I think like what you do with coaching and the services that you is really a great idea to go to that next level with your social media marketing because, Nick's got some strategies, and Nick, I don't know what I want to do is anybody who's watching this webinar right now. I'm gonna give a bonus training, and I don't know if Nick will be a part of that, but I have a bonus tactic with social media. And after we record this, I'm going to talk with Nick about it. But you definitely want to sign up for it. And it's a bonus little tactic that you can do. It's kind of an advanced thing, but it works really well to get referrals. So if you're watching this, it's absolutely free. I mean, we're not going to charge you, but it's a bonus thing just because we wouldn't have all the time to talk about it on this webinar. But let's kind of transition with that being said. So if you're watching this, make sure you sign up for the bonus. Okay, we're going to send that to you. But let's talk about now your services and kind of how you strategize because we're doing a giveaway. So we're going to be giving away, or you're giving away two services, or kind of tell us what
yeah.
you do and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. So basically, it's twofold. My whole thing is I focus on education and empowering my clients to really understand and master social media. And so, what I'm going to be giving away is my mini course, Social Media Made Easy, which again, it shows you the tools, the systems, how to properly use social media and different tactics that you can do. So again, it's designed for being more efficient with your time and really just creating these systems. And when you have these little tools that I know of that are all in the course, and again, there's multiple different tools that you can use, some which cost money, some which are free, but if there is a cost that's very low, talking
Yeah.
like $15 a month. So there's like all these little things that you can utilize that are going to make you more efficient. And then the other bonus is that I'm actually going to be doing some coaching with you. So I'm a trained business coach. I've been trained, went through extensive training, as well as my experience within the home care industry itself, and the marketing aspect. And so what we will do is really to come up with a plan for you to maximize what you're doing online, so you can show up in that authoritative role
That's
and
good.
really get your ROI on what you're doing on social media. Because based on where you may be, you may have a different strategy. There may be different things that you're working on. You may have a different budget, which then opens up potentially other options that you can
Hmm.
explore.
Yeah.
And so by doing the coaching, which I'm excited to offer, it's really going to be customized to you, and really getting the best results. And the best part is, if I'm not going to spend time talking about things that maybe are in the course, because you're already going to have access to that. So
Yeah.
it's really going to be personalized to you, which I'm really excited about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So that's going to be part of the giveaway that we're announcing. You'll see information on the page right now, how you can sign up for the giveaway. And it's also in our Facebook group. You can go there and sign up. Nick's a part of that giveaway. Also, we have a few other home care consultants. We're participating in the giveaway. We're giving away some part of our marketing system with the website SEO. So sign up for that giveaway. I can't tell you how important this is to your business. A lot of people think, okay, well, you know, marketing, I don't need to do this anymore because my business has already hit, 2 million plus in revenue. And so now I'm just managing my business, right? But I
Mm,
can't tell you how important it is to continue to push. It's not the easiest thing to do, to go sign up with Nick's program or to pay a consultant like us to handle your SEO and build out your website, high converting website. It's not something that you want to do. Who wants to go spend money on their marketing? Nobody does, right? But it's something that's important, right? To spend that time with Nick and to go through his course, have that strategy created. Nobody wants to be on camera either. I mean, well, some people do, some extroverts, I guess, but I had to
I
force
love
myself in the
it.
beginning. I was like, man, I don't like how I look. I don't like the sound of my voice. But you've got to put in the effort to do these things in your business, whether you're just starting or you've already been doing a home care, and you're at 2 million, 3 million in revenue a year, whatever that may be. You've got to put in the effort to continue to push, right? Even if you don't want to. And I know that you probably have a lot of quotes about making yourself uncomfortable, right? We've got to
Yeah.
become uncomfortable if we want to grow, right? And so if you're sitting there watching this like, and you're just kind of like not in your lethargic, you're not wanting to take action, reach out to Nick, at least find out, some more information about his coaching. His information is going to be on this page that you're watching the video. All right. And we'll also feature him in our home care group on Facebook where you can connect with him. And I don't know, Nick, if you're a part in there yet, but I'll invite you. So he'll be in there to answer any questions as well. But, take that effort. Don't just be lethargic and be happy with where you're at. And I know when you're just starting, you may not want to invest money, but you've got to invest money into your marketing. I know that the Small Business Association of America recommends that you spend somewhere around 5 to 7% of your total annual income. So, whatever, if you want to be at $2 million, what do you got to invest in more, right? So it's one of those things where you've got to put some kind of effort, and you may not want to, but take that action. It's worth it. Okay. Other than that, Nick, do you want to mention anything else before we go?
The one thing I wanted to touch on that I thought was so amazing that you were kind of mentioning was just the idea of growth. I have a
Yeah.
podcast called Let's Grow Together. I'm just a big personal development junkie, about like working on how we can grow ourselves, and grow everything that we do. And that's the thing, like when it comes to social media and everything that we do, it's not a, hey, just do it and forget it. It's things that we need to continue to work on, continue to grow and improve on in every area of our life and our business, that we're consistently working to get better and better. And that's what it takes to be successful. I mean, you listen to any successful, the Tony Robbins and the Brendan Burchards and these high level successful people, John Maxwell, and
Yeah.
the people, and they're super, they're doing these things. They understand this growth mindset, and when we have that growth mindset and we implement it and with everything that we do, there's really nothing that can stop us.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. And again, sign up for that bonus. And then also there's information with Nick. You can sign up to get more information about his coaching, his systems with social media marketing. Don't forget to do that. And also don't forget to sign up for the giveaway. He's gonna give away real quickly, say real quick what it is.
Yeah, so it's going to be the mini course Social
Okay.
Media Made Easy, and you're going to get 2 coaching sessions with me as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So sign up for that. And other than that, we will see you guys later. Have a good one.